Do you find yourself doing the same task repeatedly on Excel 2007? This short video will show you how to make that task automatic using a macro. Don't be scared of macros. They sound complicated, and Excel does write macros in Visual Basic. But if you can do the task you want to automate using just your mouse and keyboard, the macro will be very easy to together, and you won't need to know Visual Basic, which is outside the scope of this video. Here's an example spreadsheet. And let's say that the task you have to do again and again is to hide the middle worksheet. The first step is to create a button to click on to make the macro work. To do that, go to the Insert menu and choose Text Box from the text group on the ribbon. Draw your button. You can then click on the new Format menu to change the look and feel of the button. You can type in some text into the button so that your users know what's going to happen when they click this button. And on the Home menu, you can change the appearance of the text. Once the button is ready, you're all set to record your macro. From the View menu, click the arrow under Macros and choose Record Macro. Give your macro a name, for example, Hide Sheet. If you want to start this macro from a keyboard shortcut rather than from a button, choose your keyboard shortcut key and type it in here. If you choose a shortcut that Excel already uses for something else, for example, Ctrl and C, then Excel will automatically add Shift to the equation. Decide where you want to save this macro. If you're only going to use it in this workbook, leave this setting as This Workbook. Alternatively, you can save it into a separate macros workbook if you want to be able to access the macro in other workbooks too. In the description box, type a brief description of what your macro is going to do. Then click OK. Excel is now recording. Think of it like a tape recorder or video camera. You've just pressed the record button and you can see a stop button here. All you now need to do is to go through the task you want to automate. In this example, as the task is to hide the middle worksheet, just do that. Right-click on the Worksheet tab and choose Hide. Then, to stop recording, click the arrow under Macros again and choose Stop Recording. Next, if you're using a macro button, you need to assign the macro to that button so that whenever you click the button, the macro will run. Right-click on the button and choose Assign Macro. Then click on the name of the macro and click OK. I'm going to undo the actions of the macro by unhiding that worksheet so you can see what happens when I click the button. When I click the button, the macro runs automatically. That's it, job done. You may also want to write a macro to reverse what you've just done. In this case, that would be unhiding the worksheet, because if you try to run a macro in the actions already being performed, you'll run into problems. In this case, Excel will try to hide its sheet it can't find, and you get an error message. That's the end of this video. You've seen how to set up a simple macro to make short work of repeated tasks on Excel 2007. Thanks for listening.